Millions of Americans go to sleep every night with the American dream on their mind. They'll wake up to the nightmare of homelessness.
As somebody who has seen the other side of being wealthy, becoming down and out.
I have. I'm not no bum.
Yeah.
I may be down, but there's always opportunity. We always push forward. You may fall, but you get back.
And over there, I had a really good job for 5 years painting for this guy, but then he ran out of work.
Marc got sick, I came back, and I've been homeless ever since.
My name is Joshua Dodge. I originally from Connecticut. I moved to Orlando to go to UCF, and that was 2001, and I've been in Orlando ever since.
Hello, my name is Daniel Jackson. Right now, I'm in a situation where I'm at the shelter right now, the rescue mission. Trying to contact my mom. I'm in a situation. I'm kind of homeless right now.
My name is Amanda Felix. I am the Director of Development for the Orlando Union Rescue Mission. I've been at the rescue mission for almost 7 years now. My main role is to engage the community, help them to get involved and make a difference in the lives of Central Florida's homeless men, women, and families.
My name is Robert Watler. I am homeless. I am grateful to be where I'm at Orlando Union Rescue Mission has given me a wonderful opportunity to begin life all over again.
My name is Al J. McKinnon. I work with City for Drug-Free Living. I'm a senior case manager here in Orlando, Florida. What we do is we're transitional housing. We're under the umbrella of City for Drug-Free Living. The particular program I work for is called the Anchor Program, located in Maxwell Terrace on the corner of John Young and Colonial. Our responsibility is to allow those who are chronically homeless that fit the description of HUD, being either 3 episodes of being homeless in a 4-year period of time, or being critically and chronically homeless for 1 full year duration on the streets.
I came over here from Brevard County on the Greyhound bus.
So my name is Donald Whitehead. I'm a board member for the National Coalition for the Homeless in Washington, D.C. That's the oldest and largest advocacy group that works on homeless issues in America. I have been a part of that organization for the last 15 years. I also served as board president of the National Coalition for the Homeless and also the executive director.
My name is Timon Watler.
My name is Karis Watler.
I'm 12 years old.
I am 17 years old.
When you think of Hawaii, Orlando, Las Vegas, or any other vacation destination, you might picture wet bodies and swaying palm trees. But for years, visitors have been getting a view of the growing homeless population that live in the shadows of the resorts, casinos, and monuments.
Mr. Marc came to me. He's helping me. He's helping me in the situation. He's trying to help me in the situation. I just pray to God that God can help me, or maybe Mr. Marc can help me.
When most people think of the homeless, they think of Los Angeles, they think of New York, they think of the large cities throughout our country that you hear about the homeless situations that they have all the time. What people don't think about is right here in Orlando, they estimate in Central Florida we have about 10,000 homeless or people that will experience homelessness throughout this year. And so it's easy to think of, you know, faraway cities that have these problems, but we have a need definitely right here in our own community.
I'm Joshua, my age. I'm from here. I went to Tennessee. About my mom got sick, and I came back. And I've been homeless ever since.
Think of Orlando, Florida. Think of New York City. Think of San Francisco.
I'm grateful to be where I'm at Orlando Union Rescue Mission has given me a wonderful opportunity to begin life all over again, to pursue what I've been doing, which is I'm an artist and a designer and a decorating consultant, and this is a wonderful place for me to be because they're doing all that they can to help me to pursue my career once again.
Automatically my mind goes to big cities like New York, Portland, but naturally I think of places that I've lived and been before and witnessed it for myself, such as Arizona, New Orleans is a big one, Orlando. Places where you see it, I automatically think of that.
I've been a painter for 30 years, on and off. And over there, I had a really good job for 5 years painting for this guy. But then he ran out of work. Because see, another thing over there is all the major building in Brevard County is done. The last city that was built was called Vieira. And then they built another Florida hospital there. And that was it.
When I think of homeless people, I think of cities like New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Detroit, cities like that, big cities.
The two cities that come to mind are Los Angeles, California, and New York City. Recently, though, I've thought about Orlando in the same vein. New York and Los Angeles are notorious, and if I could add one more, I would lump San Francisco in there. Their homelessness is really pervasive. The numbers of people living on the streets are bigger than some small cities. So those are the two cities I think of most, but then there's also Washington, D.C. And the irony of Washington, D.C. is what really kind of strikes me. This is the capital of the richest country in the history of the world, and it has the largest outdoor homeless population per capita in the entire United States.
We've always mostly lived in Orlando. We lived in Miami for a while, but we've lived in Orlando for about 10 years now.
A person's belongings stuffed in a shopping cart as he sleeps beside it. A mother and her children trying to find shade from the heat. Or an elderly man curled up on the sidewalk, almost appearing invisible to people walking by. Those are the images that tourists do not see in the travel brochures. According to Forbes magazine, 48 million people visited Orlando, Florida in 2009. That made it America's top travel destination. New York, Chicago, California, and Miami round out the top 5. Orlando also ranks number 1 in another area. The Orlando metro area ranks number 1 for mid-sized cities with people considered chronically homeless. The chronically homeless is an individual who has had either been continuously homeless for a year or more, or has had at least 4 episodes of homelessness within the past 3 years.
You pay $6 a night. Pay $6 a night. $6 a night.
What if you don't have it? So what do you?
You don't have it. You may to go to the coalition. They pay $1. You pay $1 whatever. You stay here.
We at the Orlando Union Rescue Mission, we've seen, like I had mentioned before, we get about 50 to 70 calls a day from people in the community in need of help. And this particular facility that we're serving, I think a lot of people, when they think of the homeless, it's people they're thinking that are struggling with addictions and different things like that, but particularly our women and children's facility, the economy has affected them in that many of our families who are here just are down on their luck in finding employment, and so they just need that hand to help them to, for a short period of time. It's not even a long period that they're with us. It's 6 months to a year generally, but in that time period, that's when they turn their lives around and get back on track to where they should be.
Oh yeah, they try to do a lot for the homeless people over here. You know, they got the shelters, you know, and they let you stay free for a few days, and then after that you have to pay to stay.
I see a lot of rescue missions just merely just giving them food, and just by giving them food is not helpful. You know, first they need to be preached the gospel so that their heart can change. But second, they have to be given opportunity or some form of accountability so that they can work.
I had a full-time job. Recent years, I was let go, and it happened multiple times to the point where I was being a yard man or doing whatever, and even that was not enough to support my family, my wife and my children, and it's a hard thing to be in that position, especially when you lose 2 houses, and at one point we were riding a bus, and just all sorts of things happened to us, and it was a struggle.
Yeah, when I found out I was gonna be homeless, I was pretty upset. Well, we had been living at my sister's house for a while, so technically we were kind of homeless in a form, in a way. But when I found out we were gonna be moving to the rescue mission, I was kind of upset because it was farther away from where I've been living most of my life. Like now, everywhere that I grew up in is like 40 minutes away, so it's kind of hard to get to there if my parents don't drive me. So I was pretty upset because it's just a whole different way of living. So it took a long time to get used to it.
No, when you think of Orlando, you don't think of homelessness, you think of vacation, families coming here to have fun. So to think that they would rank #1 in something like that is crazy, and you just wouldn't think of that.
I used to work at Bo's Barbecue until they shut down.
I never knew Orlando had so many homeless people. So them ranking #1 is like, that's shocking to me. I didn't know that. The fact of the matter is, the homeless affect tourism. When considering how powerful the visitor industry can be, it's a little strange that more is not done to ease the problem.
I pray for a home. I need a home. I'm trying to build. I do have income. Is my mom? She's my pay, so she has the transfers with her, so it doesn't come to me. I'm in a situation I gotta wait on.
I don't think the Orlando community sees the homeless situation in our community. I don't think it's prominent enough for it to affect tourism, if that makes sense. I think that a lot of times, I mean, even forget about the tourist industry, just think of Central Floridians here. There's people who don't even believe that there's 10,000 homeless right here in our own backyard because it's not a prominent issue. It's an easy issue to look away from. And so I think that, let alone tourists, our own community, it should be more prominent in it.
I have my work in a gallery in downtown Orlando right now that's being shown and presented. What an opportunity. Not a lot is selling. That's why I'm homeless.
My dad is an artist. He was always doing interior decorating, and my mom's a stay-at-home mom, and she was homeschooling us for a long time.
I've been here since 1985, and it definitely affects tourism, especially when you look at downtown Orlando right now with the metamorphosis and transitions that are happening now. Building due to the arena and the new soccer stadium, yes, it does affect homelessness.
A blue box word, that's the only word you can panhandle. You know, panhandle outside the blue box, you get arrested. You can ask, but some people just give it to you. Some people got signs saying need money for food or cigarettes, whatever.
It definitely affects tourism. I mean, if you knew when you were going somewhere that there were a bunch of homeless people around your hotel, me, I probably wouldn't care, but I'm not the person that aiming at the tourism. Like, a lot of people probably wouldn't care to go to that hotel.
For 17 years, I was part of a clothing drive that would, during the week before Christmas, we'd gather clothes from everybody, sort them into sizes, and have the guys in the homeless shelter come through and tell their size so they could get clothes. Because, you know, and I think a lot of times people think about it during the holidays, like feeding people and clothing people at holidays, but it's really in the middle of the year that nobody's reaching out to homeless people. Is that what you found?
Right. There's over 1 million homeless students
Wow.
in the country. There's 1 in 45 children would experience homelessness throughout the year. That's 1.6 million children that would be homeless. There's over 400,000 homeless veterans.
And so how are you doing now? I mean, how do you feel now where you're at in life versus where you were when you were 19?
I'm sitting here with y'all, so.
He's like, so it's all good. But it shows that anybody can do anything. I mean, did you think you would be at this point in your life that you are now paying it forward and helping other people who were in a situation that you had to deal with?
Well, I still think, you know, I don't think I'm any place great in my life. I'm living day to day. I'm just doing what I'm doing.
We beg to differ. The fact that you're here sharing this message, maybe today, somebody watching will be like, you know what, I'm going to hop online. I'm going to see what shelters are around. I'm going to contact my local church, see what I can do, and help. And if you had a part of that, I would say that was a job well done for you.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. Make sure you guys check out his book. It comes out this spring, okay? Do not miss that.
You don't have, after you stay the number of days that they let you stay for free, if you don't have any money, then you can't stay.
Being that Orlando is so big on tourism and also so big on homelessness, I would say it doesn't affect tourism because so many people come here, but they just don't realize what's going on behind the scenes because we keep it so under wraps. So I wouldn't say that it's something that affects tourism because no one really pays attention to it.
Some cities have acted aggressively, however. Who can forget when the city of Atlanta got rid of their homeless before the '96 Olympics by giving them one-way bus tickets out of town? Williston, North Dakota, and Fort Lauderdale, Florida have recently done the same.
I think it would be a tragedy to do something like that, even think about it.
I have not heard that, so I don't know anything about that. I think that I've never heard that before.
That's something that I've seen happen a number of times around major events. It happens around both Democratic and Republican conventions. It happened in Salt Lake City. I actually was the president of the National Coalition during the time that the Olympics were held in Atlanta. And we were very upset about what happened there for a number of reasons. Not only did they give one-way bus tickets, but they also destroyed thousands of units of public housing. They actually obliterated an entire community. So it's something that happens pretty regularly. There's still cities that do one-way bus tickets, and it's another one of those solutions to homelessness that are not really a solution.
That's crazy. That shouldn't happen that way. It shouldn't be done like that.
I would say that it's crazy to think that a city would use their funds to get rid of their homeless instead of using it towards helping them.
Through Jobs Partnership of Florida, I had a contact and they introduced me to an associate pastor of a church downtown Winter Park. And they invited me to teach art, sketching, there at that church. And the class begins Monday night, which is tonight. And I'm able to do what I used to do, be in the art world once again.
Is that the answer? To just get rid of your problems by giving them to someone else? I'm sure a country as rich as this can come up with a better solution than that. I mean, this is America, isn't it? The richest country on earth. Isn't this the only country that went to the moon? The country that invented the internet? The country where the Wright brothers invented the airplane and Henry Ford invented the automobile? Wait a minute. Henry Ford didn't invent the automobile. It was that German guy called Benz. And what about those that fight for America's freedoms? The veterans. In my opinion, there should be no such thing as a homeless veteran. After all, have you ever heard of a mime that talked too much? But about 62,000 or 13% of all homeless persons are veterans.
You gotta give it some time because, man, me and my dad, things went down with me and my dad, so I said, I don't like that. I'm better than that. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe I can talk to you, maybe if I could talk to you maybe after the video.
America is indeed the richest country in the world. Being a retired military officer, 22 and a half years, 6 wars, 3 gunshots, and a big pension. Traveled all over the world at least 3 times. Yes, I do know that. Should there be a shame? No, they should not. There's no place like home, like Dorothy said in The Wizard of Oz. I know, I've been around the world. America might have some injustices, and America might have some issues they need to concern with, but they do help their own. And from a biblical standpoint, even Christ Jesus said, the poor you will have with you always.
It's an issue of their sin, not in every case, but in some cases it could be an issue of their sin. That, you know, there's the sin of laziness, the sin of adultery. You know, they commit this act and there's consequences in their relationships.
I don't know if ashamed is the right word. That's what I'm struggling for right now. I think it's sad that people in our own backyard are having to struggle through such issues. But like I said before, it's so many times we'll see people come into our facility down on their luck, but this experience made them into such stronger people in the long run. And so I think God uses everything for his ultimate good. And sometimes people being down on their luck and going through hard times allows them to become stronger people in the long run.
They think that we might be on the streets asking for money and stuff, but that's what some homeless people do, but not what our kind of homeless people do.
Homelessness could have been ended in 2001 when we introduced something called the Bring America Home campaign. We work with members of Congress. It was a comprehensive set of initiatives that, if enacted, would have ended homelessness. There were 10 titles that covered housing, they covered income for homeless people, education. Another big thing was civil rights. There are more homeless people have been killed as a result of violence than all the other protected classes combined over the last 5 years. And that's startling to me. But if that bill would have been enacted, we would have ended homelessness. And we can, and that's the real tragedy about homelessness, that it's a preventable issue. We could end homelessness tomorrow if our elected officials made it a priority. And you know, there's a lot of personal issues that cause people to become homeless, but the real underlying issue is a societal issue. And until the society that we live in the richest country in the history of the world. I have to keep saying that until our country decides that it wants to end homelessness. It'll continue forever.
Just the people here have been really nice, and they've been really easy to relate to, and they don't seem to judge you for being homeless or for your life choices. And they're a lot of fun to get along with. You could play around with them, and we play volleyball all the time, and it's just a great environment to be in.
One of the issues that I worked on, I've spent most of my time on as director of the National Coalition for Homeless, was the education of homeless children and youth and ending homelessness for children in this country. We weren't successful in ending it. A third of the population in the country is actually children. What we worked on was something called the Education for Homeless Children and Youth Act. And that particular bill allows for a homeless liaison in every community in the entire country, every school district. And if I can think of anything that I'm proud of, it was getting that legislation moved through Congress. And now any city in the United States, if a homeless child goes into a shelter, there's transportation provided so she can go back to the school of her origin. And that's very important because there's statistics that say if students lose time in school, they're actually very likely not to be able to excel academically. And for homeless children, they really have problems in school, and it's because of the constant movement. So what we wanted to do was stabilize it. So I think it's really just incredible, again, that in the richest country in the history of the world, we have over 1 million homeless children.
I'm in 6th grade.
I am in 11th grade.
A's and B's and some C's.
I plan on going to college. I'm thinking of majoring in education, probably English education.
Many of us sit behind those gates and convince ourselves that the homeless don't exist, or that it's not our problem because it can never happen to us. The truth is, most of us get up every day and go to work for somebody else. What would happen if you went to work tomorrow and found your job had gone out of business?
Believe in Jesus. Jesus will help you. Jesus will be there for you. Jesus. My name is Daniel.
For a job, but it's hard, you know. It's very hard to get a job with a family record on my record.
I'm in a position where I have family, whatever that could take me in. But on the other note, everyone doesn't have that. That's just something that I have. And it's so easy nowadays for something to happen in the economy where people do lose their jobs and they don't have what I have, something to fall back on. So it does result sometimes in losing everything in your home, and it just happens to some people.
I end up homeless, I guess. If you can't find a job, pay your rent, pay your mortgage, you end up on the street, and that's what a lot of people are dealing with. That's why a lot of people are homeless, because they can't, pay their rent, can't pay their mortgage.
Success. I was a salesman of the year for Chrysler, so a lot of success and just a normal human being, and I ended up in a shelter. So it opened my eyes. I was pretty much a person who was about himself and not caring about the rest of the world. However, that experience really changed my life forever, and I haven't walked away from it since then.
My name Daniel. My name Daniel, just like Daniel in the Bible, man.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I would like to be a teacher, yes.
I want to be a record producer.
It would be a fun job, and I'm really good at English. Like, it's one of my best subjects.
I don't exactly know how to get there yet, but I think if I really tried, I can get there.
I never thought that I would be able to have an opportunity to dream again. Sorry.
Don't cry for me.
Don't cry for me.
Don't cry for me.
Don't cry for me.